Marijuana. Some of the street names for marijuana are loud, pot, gas, Mary Jane, bush, grass, tree, weed, herb, reefer, broccoli, chronic, hay, keef, blaze, kush, grass, and skunk. This is what weed looks like for those of you who don't already know. You can smoke it with blunts, joints, or with a bong. And you can also eat it with edibles. This high lasts for multiple hours. Some of the personal influences for smoking weed are because people may think that it makes them look cool, or they want to escape from reality and relieve stress, and a lot of people just like the way it feels. Kids are often pressured into smoking marijuana during middle school and high school, and this is when most people start. The best ways of avoiding being peer pressured to marijuana are to either not hang out with people who smoke weed, or to not go with them when they're about to smoke weed. Kids are often pressured into doing drugs, and if they are not capable of guiding their own life, or do not have a strong sense of self, then they will oftentimes be more prone to being pressured into doing drugs. Family history and influences. Parents who own weed farms or smoke weed usually have kids who smoke weed as well. Parents are oftentimes role models, and their example would make their child more likely. You can see marijuana being advertised and marketed on billboards, in music, in the videos, and in the lyrics made by the artist, in movies, on social media, in live performances, and on clothes. Here you can see billboards in Oakland advertising cannabis clubs and dispensaries. You can see music artists advertising marijuana, and it's also on clothes.
Do anybody in here smoke
Here you
weed?
see an artist at a live performance. This was later put into a movie. Some of the rumors about marijuana. One common rumor is that marijuana can kill you, and this is 100% false, because you would need to smoke approximately 1,500 pounds of marijuana within a day in order to overdose. 1,500 pounds of marijuana is about 20,000 to 40,000 times more marijuana than what is inside of a blunt. Because of this, it is impossible to overdose on marijuana. Another rumor is that marijuana is highly addictive. This is also false. You see, marijuana is not addictive, it's dependent. If you would happen to stop using marijuana, you would have a psychological withdrawal, but not a physical withdrawal that could cause actual harm to your body. Marijuana is only going to become dependent if you use it before you finish puberty. If you take it as a child, you could become dependent on it if you're a frequent user. But if you take it once you have reached physical maturity, then you will not become dependent on the drug. Another rumor is that weed can make you hallucinate. Weed cannot make you hallucinate because the chemical that makes you high is called THC, and THC contains no hallucinogenic properties to it, and it's not a hallucinogen. And marijuana also contains no other hallucinogenic chemicals within its structure. Here's an excerpt from a website I found describing the penalties for illegal marijuana use. This excerpt is about the death penalty for marijuana. The sentence of death can be carried out on a defendant who has been found guilty of manufacturing, importing, or distributing a controlled substance if the act was committed as a part of a continuing criminal enterprise, but only if the defendant is 1. The principal administrator, organizer, or leader of the enterprise, or is one of several such principal administrators, organizers, or leaders, and 2. The quantity of the controlled substance is 60,000 kilograms or more of a mixture or substance containing detectable amounts of marijuana, or 60,000 or more marijuana plants, or if the enterprise receives more than 20 million in gross receipts during any 12-month period of its existence. Here you can see the offenses, the penalty for it, the incarceration time, and the maximum fine for illegal marijuana penalties. For personal use, 28.5 grams or less is an infraction with no incarceration time but a maximum fine of $100. With 28.5 grams or less, if you're 18 years and over, and it occurred on school grounds, is a misdemeanor with 10 days of incarceration and a maximum fine of $500. For 28.5 grams or less, under 18 years is a misdemeanor with 10 days in prison and a $250 maximum fine. And for personal use with possession of more than 28.5 grams is a misdemeanor worth 6 months with a $500 maximum fine. And with the intent to distribute any amount is a felony worth 16 months to 3 years with no maximum fine. In sale or delivery, any amount is a felony worth 2 to 4 years with a maximum fine of nothing. For a gift of 28 grams or less is a misdemeanor with no incarceration and a maximum fine of $100. And if you're over 18 years, selling to an individual of 14 to 17 years, it is a felony worth 3 to 5 years with no maximum fine. If you're over 18 years, selling to an individual under 14 years, it is a felony worth 3 to 7 years with no maximum fine. And with cultivation of any amount is a felony worth 16 months to 3 years, no maximum fine. Hash and concentrates. Possession is a crime worth 1 year in prison with a maximum fine of $500. Unauthorized manufacturing is worth 1.5 to 3 years with a maximum fine of $500. And a chemical manufacturer is worth 3 to 7 years with a $50,000 maximum fine. In certain situations, multiple of these penalties can add up on top of each other, leaving you with decades of incarceration. Some of the short-term effects of marijuana use are reduced resistance to common illnesses, such as the cold, bronchitis, etc., suppression of the immune system, growth disorders, increase of abnormally structured cells in the body, reduction of male sex hormones, rapid destruction of lung fibers and lesions, aka injuries to the brain that could be permanent, reduced sexual capacity, study difficulties such as reduced ability to learn and retain information, apathy, drowsiness, and lack of motivation, personality and mood changes, also the inability to understand things clearly. Some of the long-term effects are sensory distortion, panic, anxiety, poor coordination of movement, lowered reaction time, and after the initial up, the user feels sleepy or energized. There's also an increased heartbeat, which gives you a slight risk of heart attack. Marijuana is not considered a gateway drug anymore. It was taken off of the list of gateway drugs, some say as early as 2013, by the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, also known as DARE. Just because marijuana may not affect you physically as much as other drugs would, does not mean that it's not bad. Marijuana has a lot of mental effects that will slow you down over time because of wear and tear from frequent use. If you talk to anyone who is a pothead or a stoner, meaning they smoke weed very frequently, you can tell that they have a slower reaction time and their words come out a lot slower. You can tell the difference in the way that they speak. Marijuana will not destroy you physically, but it can have a lot of mental effects slowing you down in your future.